So Julie, we're talking about the selling value versus prices and in sales in a business. We're in business because we want to make money and we want to increase sales. What are some of your tips in creating the right product for customers and maybe to help increase sales? Because that's a big question for many businesses.
Where do I start? Everybody, if we knew the answer and the formula to this, then I think we would all be bazillionaires. But I think one of the key things is really to be realistic. I mean, that's the first step, is to say to yourself, well, what do I really want to accomplish? And especially when people are first starting out, be gentle with yourself. It's going to take a while to figure out what the customer wants. That's the first thing. So what does your customer want? But then even more importantly, you're going to discover what the customer needs. And what the customer needs is not always what they want. And so that's where that value-oriented piece comes in, going back to what Mark said. If you start with price first and then you go up the value ladder, really important. But when you're figuring out what the customer actually needs, that's where the value comes in. That's where the relationship building has to come in. That's where all of those parts and pieces. And I also have to, I'm reminded of a story that one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, tells. He talks about non-resistance. And this is a relatively new concept for me, and probably will be for a lot of other people. I've always been aware, many years ago, Bob talks about going into a shop 40, 50, 60 years ago, and when he would, open the door, the bell would ring, and the person would, walk in, and the shopkeeper would come out from the back room, and they would say, "Hi, can I help you?" And then they would show all of their products. Now we're in a world where we go to Target and the doors open up for us, and when we walk through the door, we've got shopping carts to make it easy, and the shopping environment, the music and the temperature and everything is pleasing. And I know if I walk into Target for one item, I'm coming out with 10.
I do that too, exactly.
Yeah, and that's because they're working with non-resistance. They're being very helpful to me. In fact, the minute that I get off my bus or the minute that I drive onto the parking lot, they've got my money.
Actually, it started from home. Just the idea of going to shop at that location makes you happy already before even leaving your house.
Isn't that the truth? And even as simple as now I can check myself out. I don't have to wait for a shopkeeper to come out and show me the things. I can check myself out. I can use my debit card, so I don't even see the money exchanging. Yeah. So for me, I still haven't really paid for anything. So this idea of non-resistance. So when Bob Proctor told me this story, it really made me look at my business, and it really made me think, well, how am I perhaps being non-resistant to, say, selling? How am I perhaps being non-resistant to my customers without really thinking about it? So I am currently re-evaluating how to make things easier, faster, simpler, non-resistant. And I think that if people can start there, just by the sheer attitude, they will change. And they will increase their business. So
I love that. Sheer resistant. I love that. It makes sense, because I know when I want to go to certain places and I'm really happy because you relate your past buying experience with them at home before I make that decision to go out shopping at that specific location. I'm a happy gal. So you go in with an expectation that there's no resistance. You go in, everything looks great. You might just end up buying a whole load of things.